The Robert C. Gaede Lifetime Achievement Award recognizes the long-term efforts of dedicated individuals in the field of historic preservation. Cleveland's senior statesman in heritage architecture, Bob Gaede, defined the field in his day. In his honor, this award celebrates individual efforts to preserve landmarks and to foster appreciation for the legacy of our built environment. This year, we are delighted to present John Cimperman with this distinguished award. John Cimperman was elected to Cleveland City Council in 1960. At that time, a major movement for urban renewal was changing the face of America. Amidst this change, the idea of historic preservation and protection of our built environment was slowly gaining popularity and then momentum. In 1966, John was part of a nationwide effort to pass the National Historic Preservation Act. This legislation was vitally important as a federal acknowledgement of the importance of protecting our nation's cultural heritage from rampant new development. A few years later, inspired by the creation of the New York City's Landmarks Commission and the writing of urbanist Jane Jacobs, then Councilman John Cimperman worked to author Cleveland's first landmarks ordinance. Supporters of this new legislation included Bob Gaede, Clay Herrick, and Maxine Levin, early founders of the Cleveland Restoration Society. In 1971, the Cleveland Landmarks Commission was the first of its kind in the state of Ohio. Today, most Ohio cities have created a Landmarks Commission to protect and preserve historic buildings and sites. In his 18-year tenure as the director of Cleveland Landmarks Commission, starting in 1972, 50 years ago today, John Cimperman spearheaded designation, preservation, and revitalization efforts for many of Cleveland's most iconic landmarks and districts, including Ohio City, the Warehouse District, East 4th Street, Hessler Road, the West Side Market, League Park, a number of churches, the Doll Maze houses, and many, many more. Throughout his career, John has also served as trustee of the Ohio Historical Society, a member of the Ohio Site Preservation Advisory Board, president of the Ohio Association of Preservation Commissions, a trustee of the Cleveland Restoration Society and the National Alliance of Historic Preservation Commissions, and president of the Early Settlers Association of the Western Reserve. He has authored a number of books and articles on history and historic preservation. It is difficult to quantify the tremendous impact that John Cimperman's work for historic preservation has had on Cleveland. Today, we reap the benefits of John's dedication and passion for his city, its buildings, and its history. It would truly not be the same without his inspirational efforts. We are delighted to present John Cimperman with the Robert C. Gaede Lifetime Achievement Award in Historic Preservation.
Yeah, I got elected to the city council. That was the time of the 1960s when urban renewal was, the thing of the federal government, the major project of the federal government making money available to urban centers. And it was slum clearance primarily. And I could see that was destroying all the cultural buildings of a community. And rather than saving those communities, they were losing them. because they tore everything down. People moved out to the suburbs, and I was looking for a tool to that might help save the city. Jane Jacobs' book, The Life and Death of Great American Cities, and within that book it talks about the creation of the Landmarks Commission in New York and Chicago. And that's what gave me the inspiration to do it in Cleveland. In fact, at that time, there were people made fun of you talking about historic buildings in Cleveland. It's just a rust-belt city. What's there to preserve? You know, they didn't look at Cleveland as a... And the next thing we had to do was to convince the Cleveland business community that, you know, the landmarks ordinance would not destroy any plants or anything new in the city. You know, I would use that old philosophy. Well, you know, when people had old furniture, they threw it away. It was an antique, they took care of it. And if you want to take care of a building within a community, you identify it as being historic. People will then respect it.